Are you looking to understand all the features of the Monday CRM? Join me with my good friend Donna Aviv, who's part of the go-to marketing team within Monday.com. She's going to do an in-depth demo of the CRM so you can see all of its features, all of its capabilities, and understand how it can truly help your business.
Hi, my name is Tara, and I'm a certified Monday.com partner and the founder of Simple Day. My goal is to help you build powerful yet simple workflows with Monday.com. If you need help with a custom implementation, my contact details are in the description below. Let's jump into today's tutorial and make Monday the best part of your week.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Dana. I'm from the CRM go-to-market team at Monday.com. And I'm very excited to be here on Tara's channel and walk you through Monday CRM. So thank you, Tara, for having me. Over here, we have the Monday account. We can see, like I said in the beginning, I want to go over a little bit about on the account structure. So over here on the left pane, we can see all the different settings, the home settings. Over here is where we can see all the workspaces. What exactly is a workspace? It allows you to create different environments for your work. So, for example, you can see on my account, I have many CRMs. Each workspace is a different CRM for a different department. But for you, it can be anything else that you want. In the workspace, we have our boards, which I'll talk about in a second. And moving on to the top right corner, this is where you can actually see all of the, profile admin stuff, things like that are more general. You can always click on the help center to to get some help, to open the knowledge base, and also to look at what's new. So if you are using CRM, always check this section. It's going to be marked in red whenever something new comes up. So you can always stay up to date with our new capabilities because we keep launching new things. Over here is where you can set up some different CRM settings. And here you have your inbox and your notifications. So whenever someone assigns you to an item or tags you in an update or an activity, you will get a notification, will be added in here. And of course, you can set up your notifications to be received via email as well, and not just on Monday. And over here, you have your updates feed. So everything that you get updated on, that someone tags you, will be located there. Okay, cool. So back to our workspace. So as you can see, I opened a workspace called CRM webinar. And here I have my boards, or as we call them, the entity boards, the entities of the CRM. We have different entities, but of course, as I said in the beginning, Monday CRM is extremely flexible and customizable. So you can customize it to your own needs. So perhaps the contacts in your business is called people. So you can just change it as easy as that. Or perhaps you're not managing contacts and accounts as B2B manages. Perhaps you're managing only contacts because you're a B2C business. In that case, you can always go to the CRM board and turn off a certain board that you're not using. So, like I said, it's very flexible and you can decide and tailor it to your own needs. So we have our contacts. This is where we will manage all of our contacts. You can see here the columns. Every contact, I want to know their email, their phone, their role, what account they're coming from, and so on. The accounts board is where I will manage all my companies. So like I said, if I'm a B2B business, I might want to keep a record of all the companies or all the accounts that I'm working with. And of course, as I add a new company, it will be automatically enriched so I can see all the data about the specific company. The leads board is where I can manage my leads. So if I work with some process of lead management and I want to receive a lead and then I want to qualify it or disqualify it, I can use the leads board to do that. And like I said, it's flexible. So you can use your contacts board to manage your leads there and then just move it between the groups. Or you can use a separate board completely, like we have here in the CRM example. We have the deals board, which is where we usually manage our pipeline. We can actually see all of our deals. We can move them between one another. You can see an overview of my revenue for each stage and so on. And finally, we have a client projects board, which you can see the different projects that you're managing. And this is an example of how you can get a unified platform that combines your sales together with the post sales. So every project that I'm managing after the sale is done. And finally, our sales dashboard, which I'll show you at the end, and we will focus on at the end on the different dashboards, the widgets, and how easy it is to customize and build. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and start our flow from the contacts. So before I dive into the actual goal of the contacts board, I want to talk about the board structure, the different functionalities that we have. So as you can see, the board is contained by groups. So as you can see, I have my active contact group and my inactive contact. And I can always add and delete new groups if I need to, customize it to my needs. Again, this can be new contacts, existing contacts. I can basically change everything to fit exactly how I work. So we have here a list of names. We have their emails, their phones, their role. This is a drop-down column, so I can edit the labels. I can add additional labels. I can select multiple fields if I want. I have here the type of the contact. Is this a lead? Is this a partner, a customer, and so on? A priority. And here I have a connection to the accounts. So basically, whenever you see this column, it means that it's connected to another account. So now I know that Alex is from a company called Binder, and Amber is from a company, Monday.com. So this is just to show you how you're going to get the contact entity. And of course, if you want to remove some columns or if you want to add some columns, you can quickly do it from here, and it will just disappear from the board if you don't need it. And you can always add additional columns. So for example, if you want to maybe manage something to do with numbers, maybe this contact, you want to manage their, I don't know, annual revenue or something like that. So you can do that. So basically, just go into the column center, see whatever you want to manage. Perhaps you want to upload file. And then every contact can have their own file of their signed contract. So you can upload a file from your computer, from your Google Drive, from your OneDrive or SharePoint. So again, tailor it to however you need it. So we talked about the groups. In each group, we talked about the item. So each row inside the group is called an item. If you want, you can also add another layer beneath it of sub items. And of course, we have super useful functionalities like filter. So we can actually create very super advanced and easy filters. Like maybe I want to focus and look at all my contacts from the type of customer. And perhaps I only want to talk to customers who are, I don't know, have a contract, so their files is not empty. And then whenever I create these filters, I can then save it as a new view and create multiple views like that and have an easy access to do so. I can also look at my board differently, so I can pivot it, use the group by. So for example, I want to look at my contacts by type. And then I pivoted it and I can see all the customers, all the partners, all my VIPs, right? So it doesn't matter how you group your board, because at the end of the day, you can come here and just change the group by as much as you'd like it. And different features like coloring, for example, are super easy to use. So look how easy it is. So if I want to maybe color the entire row in red, whenever I have a contact that is a CEO, I can quickly do that. See, it took me 2 seconds. I didn't need a code or anything like that. So that's kind of like the general information about the board functionalities. So like I showed you guys, it has a lot of functions. You just have to play around and discover it. And it's very flexible. You can change it however you want. So you can remove and add columns, but you can also change their names. Maybe you don't want to call this type. Maybe you want to call this type of contact. You can just change it as easy as that. Okay, amazing. So we talked about functions. Now let's talk about how new contacts or new leads can be added into my board. So, of course, there's the good old fashioned way of adding it manually, which I'll show you in a second. We can always come here and import from Excel. So we can drop an Excel file, a CSV, and then upload it. And all the contacts will be added into the board. As we are uploading new contacts, you will see that during the import process, you can also choose to manage your duplicates. So it will ask you, do you want to merge duplicates? Do you want to skip duplicates, add them as new? So that's also a functionality that exists within the import. And you can also do some integrations, right? So maybe you're bringing contacts from Google Ads or LinkedIn, or perhaps you're bringing your contacts from, a third-party platform or from just Google Sheets. So you can use the different integrations or the marketplace apps in order to use our open API to bring in the contacts into your board. And like I said, we all and sorry, one last thing, we also have the Monday form. The Monday form, obviously, one of my favorite features of collecting leads, and I'll show it to you from the leads board. Okay, so let me quickly jump from the contacts board into the leads board. Again, this is a functionality you can add on the contacts board if you need to, but I would like to show you how it works on the leads. So the leads board in our case contains one group. It has a status for the lead. So a new lead, contacted, qualified, unqualified. I have here the different information I want to collect about my lead, such as which company they're from, what is their title, email, and phone. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the contacts board. Again, you can decide to use the two boards or combine them into one. What I want to show you here is the form. This is the Monday form. With every board inside Monday, you can create a form by just clicking here and adding a form view. And then you can choose to collect the information of the items into the board via form. So you can prepare this form. You can customize it. You can add your own logo, your own colors. You can decide, of course, which questions you want to have and which questions you want to hide, etc., etc. And then when someone fills out a form, so for example, I am Dana from Google. I am CEO of Google. Yeah, why not? Right. So let's do google.com, Google with a typo, and I'm going to submit the form. And this form, guys, obviously can be shared via a link, or it can be shared as an embedded code. So you can actually take it and embed it on your website, on your social media, whatever it is. And then this form will live elsewhere outside of Monday. But then every time someone fills out the form, it will create here, as you can see, a new lead. So we have here a new row of Dana Aviv. All her information is filled out. And then I can decide if I want to qualify or unqualify Dana. And I can then use an automation to move Dana into my contacts. So I can create this kind of connection between the boards, right? So I have a new lead. I decided Dana is worth talking to. So I'm going to move her as a contact. Now, every time I add a new contact, it will also recognize which company they're from. So let me give you an example. We talked about the old fashioned way of adding it manually, right? Because sometimes I'm on the phone, I want to add a new contact manually. Now, we have the option in Monday CRM to restrict the way of adding new items. So when I want to click here, instead of filling out the item with all the fields, as you can see, it opened up this window that allows me to create required fields. So what do I mean? If I want to you probably know it, but if I want, let's try a different name, right? So let's try Ron Smith. So we have Ron from Google. And if I, for example, didn't fill out the email, it won't let me add an item. Now, this functionality is open on the contacts board or on the leads board, but on other boards, It's not open, so you can add items freely. But whenever you want to create required fields, to make sure to keep your data intact and to make sure you have data integrity, then you want to make sure to use this required field option. Now, every time I will add a new contact, what it will do basically, it will create an account inside the accounts board, or it will connect to the relevant company or relevant account and connect it to the contact. So, for example, if I added someone from Google, it will already know that Google is connected to all these contacts like Dana or Ron or whoever it might be. I can also do it manually if I want. And that way I can keep the connection between my contacts and my accounts. Okay, amazing. So we talked about the board functionality, how I can add contacts, and also how I can add items or contacts on my board by keeping my data intact by using required fields. Now let's talk about the 360 view, the item card, as I showed you. So if I open up this item card, this item, for example, I'm opening this contact called Pedro. So what am I going to see here? This is, like I said, the 360 view, and it contains different widgets. So every window you see here is a widget. As you can see, I can move. Again, I can customize my widget. I can add additional widgets if I want, item description, information from other boards, or perhaps I want to create some reports. I want to add a chart widget or a numbers widget. So again, I suggest you play with it and see what it offered. But inside the contacts, what we have is the information of the contact. If we scroll down, we have here the related account with all the details about the account. And over here, we have the emails and activities. As I mentioned, the emails and activities is the core of our CRM. And it's the one source of truth, the one place that I can communicate externally and internally about my specific contact or my specific deal. And it will be located in here. So the first thing I suggest you do, if you haven't done it already, is connect your emails and activities to your email provider, whether it's Gmail or Outlook. Connect your email, connect your calendar, and that way everything will be synced. In addition to that, you can also connect your Zoom. So if you're having meetings on Zoom, everything will be recorded in here. So what happens after I connect my email or my calendar? Basically, I can start communicating directly from here and start writing email like, "Hi, Pedro, haven't heard from you for a while. Haven't heard from you. Blah blah blah." I can also use email templates that I prepared in advance. I can add a signature. I can add a file. I can use even the AI to help me write my emails better, which is super helpful for non-native speakers like me. And I can also decide which email this email is going to be sent out from. Maybe I don't want to send it from my personal email. Maybe I have a shared inbox with the entire sales team or account management team. So I want it to be sent out from there. So I can send my emails as I'm sending my emails from emails and activities. I can track the email so I can see if this was opened or not. If I included a link inside the email, I can also see if the link was clicked or not. And then I have this timeline of interactions that shows me exactly what happened. Now, if you don't want to send your email from your emails and activities, you can also, as you connected it and you integrated your Gmail or your Outlook, whenever you send an email externally from your email provider, it will also be captured here in the timeline. Whenever Pedro is writing an email to you or you're writing an email to them, it's going to be added here as a timeline block. So what else can you add here? So like we said, a Zoom, if you add your Zoom, your Zoom account, so every time you have a Zoom call with Pedro, it will be added here with the summary of the Zoom and with the AI instructions coming from the summary of the Zoom. In addition, you can add different activities. activities are extremely important because we don't want to just document the emails and the communication. We also want to add, for example, a call summary, right? So I just had a call on Zoom or whatever, or maybe I went to visit the client on site. I want to add a summary, right? I want to exactly explain what I talked about, what I think the closing probability is. Perhaps I want to tag my teammates and say, like, James, check out this call. I think it went great, but I would like to have your feedback, etc., etc. And then I have here the call summary with all the information. And again, I have this timeline of interactions that really helps me not lose any information and make sure that everything is stayed in one place. If you go into your emails and activity settings, you'll be able to see the different settings that you have, like permission settings. You will be able to set up different automations, like if an email is received, change the status on the board. Or if, I don't know, if I change the status on the board, then create an activity to remind me to do this or that. In addition, we have the AI summary. So if I had multiple interactions in here, you would see that this AI chat would offer me a summary that I can then take, input into my board, and basically do whatever I want with it. So I can take this summary and I can have AI let me know about the sentiment of the client, maybe the closing probability, the forecasting, or what should I tell them next, or what are the action items that I want to take from the previous call, and things like that. So, if you, by the way, if you don't have the AI summary, perhaps it's wondering if it's open for trial users, but if you don't see it, just once you upgrade to a paying account, you will be able to see it. Cool. So we talked about the contacts, we talked about the item card and the emails and activities. I want to talk about automations and integrations because it's a huge part of a CRM of how we can actually, have the platform work for us rather than us working for the platform. And with Monday and Monday CRM, it's extremely easy to set up your automations and the rules that you want in order to make your life easier. So, what I always suggest is when you do get Monday CRM, take a notebook or take a board and start writing all the manual things that you're doing today and think about how it can be automated using Monday automations. And you'll see how much time you're actually saving by using these automations instead of continuing to work manually. So, how do we set up different automations? We can click here on automate or integrate, and let's look at the different examples. Just before I go in, I want to show you, perhaps let's talk about automations in the deals board. So, the deals board, as we can see here, this is the pipeline view where I can move, items between one another. But behind this pipeline view, I have the main table. So it looks exactly the same. It has the items with all the fields. When I open the item card again, it has the same information. Here, I just have more widgets because I want to see the deal stages. So I can actually see the status of the deal, and I can change it from here, and it will change the status on the board. And this is a very good glance of what's going on with my deal and what stage I'm in. And as you can see, also on the deal, I have the emails and activities. So, for example, if I had a deal here with Pedro, this is the deal with Pedro, and I open the deal, if I remove a filter, I will be able to see all the information that was done with Pedro from the contacts board. But it doesn't matter that it was done from another board because it matters that the 360 view, the item card, the emails and activities brings the communication from the different parts of the platform. And if I want to focus on just this item, I can just filter it and show me only the related activity. This is super helpful because when we look at a deal or when we look at a contact, we might want to see all the communication or all the activities that happened from different sources on the CRM. So now let's look at automations. So we saw here that we have the stages of the deal. And let's go to automations. Now, automations are set up very easily. What you have to think about is when this happens, do this. So, what is the trigger that I want to have in order to create an action to do that? So, for example, we can say that we want to take the status, the stage of the deal, and we want to say that when the stage changes to negotiation, then I want to notify maybe my manager. So I can write here the exact notification that I want. I can choose who is going to receive the notification. It can be someone, um, oops, hold on, wait. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Yeah, okay. So we can see here the notification can be triggered into someone static or maybe someone dynamic from your board. Perhaps we want to send an email, right? So let's say when stage changes to 1, I want to send an email. So I'm going to type email, and I can use again or Gmail or Outlook, and then I can start writing my email. And as I'm writing my email, I can use the pre-populated fields from the board. So I can say, hi, name. We are so glad to have you, to have, let's take, I don't know, if I had here the company name or anything like that. Um, if I have a file on the board, so I can say see attached contract, and then I can add the file. So I can use the fields on my board in order to create this email. So imagine if you're working right now in a manual way, and every time you close a deal or every time you move a deal from one stage to another, um, you have to create a task to remember to send them an email. This can be automated. And then once you change this status to 1, all the automations that you set up can happen in the background. For example, you saw that this was moved to this group because I have an automation that says that when the stage changes to 1, move to another group. So this is how you set up automations. You can set up conditions also. So when, for example, let's say maybe when the date arrives, so maybe I want to say before the date arrives or maybe after the date arrives. So maybe after expected close date arrives, and I can add a condition. So I can say after 1 day after expected close, but if my stage is not 1, then notify someone or even do an integration if I use Slack. So maybe send a Slack message in a channel. Hey, this is a reminder to start your I don't know, to change the expected close date or to contact deals in your pipeline or anything like that. So you can create multiple actions like that. So really, again, be creative. Write down all the manual things you're doing today and see how they can be automated. In addition, I also promised to talk a little bit about AI. So I have here a different board that I wanted to show you about with AI. So this is an example of me managing my leads and qualifying my leads using the MedPick system. So basically, every time I add a call snapshot that I can get from my AI Zoom summary that I have on emails and activities, or from the AI that I showed you here before. One second. From this AI summary, right? So it gives me a snapshot, as you can see here, and then it gives me the snapshot, and then I can either, add it to the timeline or I can copy it into my board. So what I do here, I want to show you how I use AI on the board itself. So let's say I'm taking a call snapshot, and like I said, I'm using the MedPick system. So I'm copying the call snapshot in here. And now the AI is going to automatically fill out these columns for me. So it's going to give me the metrics from this call. It's going to tell me if I found it's going to tell me if I found an economic buyer or not. what is the decision criteria of the customer, um, what is the pain of the customer, etc., etc. So imagine the things you can do with it. You can take a text and ask it to categorize. You can get a new lead and ask it to assign the relevant salesperson based on the region or based on the product that the client wants, and so on. Now, how do you do that? Whenever you have columns on the board, you can just go in, autofill with AI, and see the different options that it will give you here, from which column you want to take the information from. And really, there's a lot of amazing options that you can do with AI. So I suggest you utilize it, you use the automations, you use the AI in order to create a smoother experience that you don't have to work hard and to make sure that the system is working for you. Other CRM functionalities that are extremely useful. So, for one thing, I want to show you email sequences. Email sequences is a tool that we recently added, and it's part of Monday CRM natively. As you can see, I just clicked here on sequences. And what it does, it gives me the ability to create a journey of sequences of automatic emails without me needing to manually send them. So, for example, if I'm creating an outbound motion, so I can create a sequence called outbound emails. I can choose the board that I'm going to send or activate the sequence on. Let's say from my example, I'm going to choose the leads board. And now, as you can see, I can add different steps into my outbound. So let's say I imported a list of 100 contacts or 100 leads, and now I want to start with those 100 people. I want to start a sequence. So the sequence that I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to send an automatic email. And here I'm going to obviously write, the email content, the subject. Again, I can use the columns from the board to make it personalized. Hi, Dana. This is me talking from this company, blah, blah. And then you can continue the sequence by sending, let's say, another email on day 3 or day 4 if the customer didn't reply it. So this will be my second email. And then I can add maybe a task. So if this client didn't answer any of my emails, I want after 10 days to create a task for me and remind me about this task that I need to try to maybe communicate with this person on another platform. Maybe I need to call them. Maybe I need to contact them on LinkedIn. So this is how you can create the different steps of the sequence. And at the end, you have those rules. So you can set up different rules like on which days of the week to send it, which time. So you don't want to accidentally send someone a message at 1 a.m., right? So this is this is the sequences. And in addition, once you set up the sequences and you set up the different rules, you can go into the automation center and search for sequences and look at the different automations that we have built in for sequences. So for example, when a new, you want to set up your own journey. So again, it's very customizable and you can build it yourself. We don't do it for you because every business is running something different. So when a new reply into a sequence email, we want to notify someone or we want to assign the manager, or when we can create different buttons to activate or deactivate sequences, and so on. So, really utilize that. Again, do some testing on it. So, create a sequence, then come here, create automations on the sequences, and see how you can manage it to make you less. To make you work less and focus on what you actually need to do, which is your work and not your admin work. Another functionality I want to show you is the mass email tracking. So the mass email. The mass email is a great tool if I want to start contacting with my contacts in mass. So I want to send bulk email or mass email to a bunch of contacts. Now, don't be confused. It's not a marketing email. It's going to leave from your inbox or the shared inbox that you did, but it's not a marketing email. For that, by the way, we are going to launch a new product very soon. But let's say that I am a salesperson or I'm an account manager and I want to contact all my contacts in my book of business, and I want to tell them happy holidays, or I want to let them know about a new product that we just brought and perhaps they can be interested in. Or perhaps I want to send to all my contacts from London that I'm coming to London, and if they want to come and come into the office and meet me in person, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the contacts that I want to email. And obviously you need to do it on a board that contains their emails. And then you can click on mass email. And then just like emails and activities that I showed you earlier, you can start typing your mass email again. You can use email templates, or you can even use an HTML editor. So if you do want to design your emails, make them a bit prettier, then you can use HTML. Let me show you an example, right? And then you can actually see the preview in here. You can save it. You can then send yourself a test email to make sure it's looking all right. And you can also schedule send it later. So if you're working late at night like me, don't send your emails at 1 a.m. Schedule send them to tomorrow morning so no one will wake up from it. And now I sent the email to, in my case, 9 contacts. You can send them in batch actions, 500 contacts at a time, or up to 2,000 a day. But again, it depends on your email provider, guys. So make sure you're not overloading. And then after you send the mass email, you have the mass email tracking. So every time you send an email, you have here the information about the email, like what's the status, what is the delivered rate, the open rate, and also the click rate. So if you send an email and you have a link, you can actually see how many people opened the email and how many people clicked or didn't click your link. And that will really give you some sort of idea of the engagement of your email, what's working, what's okay. Awesome. Another feature that I want to show you is the account enrichment. So we talked about if I'm a B2B and I'm working with companies, I want to make sure that every company that I put in my board is being enriched. So when I enter, well, I showed you already Apple, this time Apple Music. When I enter a new company, all the enrichment details are going to be added in here. This is being done behind the scenes using Crunchbase integration. And if you want to have more columns or more functionalities, you can purchase it and get even more. One last thing that I want to show you is the feature called quotes and invoices. It's a rather new feature that we launched, and it allows you to create a quote or an invoice directly from the platform. And at the end, you can generate a file like that, download it, send it directly to your customer. You can connect it with some product board. You can create quote templates and really build a template on top of Monday with the connection to the board. So it will automatically take the details of the contact, their billing details, which products they purchased. You can add discounts and so on. So this is really a new cool tool that we launched. And one last thing I want to talk about the dashboard. So over here we have an example of a sales dashboard. Now, I said it in the beginning, but Monday CRM really gives you the control. It puts the control in your hands. You are able to create a report in no time. You don't need code to do so. And you can create multiple dashboards, multiple reports. You can filter and focus every report for your sales rep, for this team. You can filter it on a specific industry that you're working with, or so on, and really make it whatever you want with literally a few clicks. And you don't need to work hard for it. So over here, what we see is an example of having all my active deals, what's the forecast revenue, what's the one deal's value, the actual revenue, the stage distribution. Over here, we have the pipeline conversion. Now, this is being taken from the deals board. If you want to connect more boards, you can do so. So basically what we're seeing right here is the conversion of your deals. So we can actually see that you had 9 deals and you won 4. So you have a 44% conversion. It's being taken automatically from the deals board. And it's a unique feature of the CRM that knows how to calculate the conversion. And over here, we have different aspects like forecasted revenue, the deal stages by rep, the distribution by rep. And here, this is actually one of my favorite widgets in the CRM. It's the leaderboard. I like it because it creates competition and motivation between the sales reps. What we see here, it's basically very similar to the data from the funnel, but we can see it's split by a person. So it basically shows me how my owners of the deals are doing. So if I have here a sales rep called Ron, I can see her deal sum and average deal size, and it's going to be marked in red or green based on the team average. So if the team average is 40K and Ron's average is 19K, then I know that she's below the average. And over here, I can see the conversion rate of each rep. So actually, Ron has 100% conversion rate. Wow, never saw that before. But for example, Dana here has 100 conversion from discovery to proposal, but from proposal to negotiation, she's not doing very well. So we can then combine it with, for example, the activities that my reps are doing, right? So every single activity, every meeting, call summary that we're doing is being captured. And I can then compare it with my reps and see how many activities are they doing. Where are they investing their sales efforts? Are they investing it on the right deal? How can I help them get this deal average to be bigger? How can I help them do a better discovery in order to reach to the negotiation stage, and so on and so forth? Now, how do I add a new widget? It's so easy. When I just go ahead and add a chart widget, I can then select inside the settings of the chart my chart type. If I want it to be a pie, a bar, a line, I can then choose my x-axis. So for example, I want to see it by owner as the x-axis, and my y-axis, I don't want to count how many items are assigned to them. I want to see the deal value. So now I can see my best-selling rep is James, and I can actually see, okay, James has $155,000. I can filter it, and I can say, only show me where the close date is this month or this quarter or this year. And then I can also create those reports based on time. And I can also click on it in order to open and see all the deals that are assigned to this person. So everything here is basically clickable. I can click on it and it will take me to the board information. So it's not just a beautiful report, it's also actionable because I can click and I can see and I can act upon it.
Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe to receive tips and tricks on how to use Monday.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.